Hey everybody, this is Lynna, and you're watching. Wow, it's been a while since I put out a Lynna's Life. It's like I used to do these things almost every day, and I think the last time I did one was right around April 15th or something. It's almost been 2 months. Well, lots has happened since then, and one thing that I wanted to share was that my divorce did finally go through. So I am now not married anymore, and I've been restored the rights of a what, single person status or whatever. And after that, a week later, Mark proposed to me, so we are getting married in at this point in time about 6 weeks from now at an undisclosed location that only Mark and I know, and so we're super duper excited. I mean, we got wedding bands, I don't know if you guys could see it. It's our symbol of being together, So we're really super excited, really happy to be together. Nobody in my life has ever understood me like Mark has. It's been quite the ride this last 6 months, just dealing with adversity after adversity, and the realities of life here in the land of enchantment, the realities of life in general. We were really beating a loud drum in the transgender community, and initially it came across, for us, we wanted to just share the information of the dangers of puberty blockers, but somehow it got off its rails and stuff, and we ended up getting attacked for what we were saying and getting put on people's hate lists, and then we react, and then we say stuff that, like knee-jerk reaction and stuff like that, and certain things that we were working through. And at one point, Mark was considering detransitioning and stuff for, a greater cause and everything, and understanding, but realized that 12 years of testosterone has really done its work, and the body really craves the primary hormone that's been given to it, and we were not sure as to what would be the medical ramifications of Mark going on estrogen, So we decided, that we were going to go a different direction, and I think that another direction that we're going to go is to not really go into issues necessarily, but just to go into presenting facts and letting people decide for themselves what they want to believe, because our job is to look up the articles and present this information, and to let you guys know about, the options that you have. If you're transgender, we don't want to throw everybody under the bus at all, but we do recognize that there's a large majority of people that are claiming to be transgender, or that think they're transgender, when in reality they're dealing with a whole host of other issues. And that is simply what we were trying to state. We weren't trying to, beat people down or anything like that. We were just stating that, these things are possible, So, I may have gotten a little bit mixed up, may have been a little convoluted, but, it is what it is, and we're going to work our best to present information as we see it and find it. And we won't necessarily always agree with everything that we do represent. We just want to give you guys the options and stuff. But, getting back to life. Life in New Mexico is much different than life was in Minnesota. Now I've been in New Mexico for over 6 months now. So all the time that I lived in Minnesota was less than the amount of time that I'm here now, and that life just seems like, I don't know, it just seems like a different time and a different place totally. My views have changed a lot. And no, I don't plan on detransitioning. I never really did plan on detransitioning. I just recognize that I am a dual-gendered person and that I am biologically male. I understand that. I don't have a problem with that. It is what it is. What I don't, represent is how I express myself in my own gender. In the progress of transitioning initially, I got my name changed last year. I got, on estrogen, and at one point I was taking Spiro, which I stopped at the beginning of the year. But I don't plan on, not continuing my transition. But I don't even want to think of it as transition. I just want to think of it as me being able to express myself as feminine. And that's where I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable there at that place in my life at this time. With regards to my own children and family life and everything, given the fact that I am disabled and not really able to travel, and divorced, there are not that many options for me other than to sit tight and wait and see what happens. I'm still trying to recover from my injury. I can move my neck better than I could 6 months ago, but if I go up, it's like can't really go that high, and if I go down until my head, I can't really go that high either. So I am still in a process of recovery. Like, I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. I have an MRI that I'm gonna get to check my healing progress and everything. So it'll be interesting. I'm not looking forward to being in an MRI machine. Last time, it was during the hospitalization and stuff like that back in January, and I was like in and out, in and out, in and out. So I don't really remember being in there. I don't remember what, how long it took. I was told it took like an hour, and all I can remember is that sound, it's like constant, like, I felt like I was paper in a copy machine constantly being Xeroxed, just that's what it kind of seemed like to me. But, it's necessary. It was what was recommended by my doctors and stuff back at the El Paso emergency room and stuff, just to check on my healing and to see how I was doing, to come back in 6 months. But, we could do everything here in this undisclosed city where we live in, here in New Mexico. But, all that to say, I am so grateful to Mark that I am where I am in my healing, and in my recovery, and I need to not concern myself so much with things that I can't do anything about. It's like I get this overwhelming sense of guilt with my children, and I love them to pieces. I always will, you know, but at this point in time, given the circumstances and everything, I really can't do anything about that, you know. I have no way to support them. I have no way to, you know, it was my daughter's birthday today. So I wished her a happy birthday, but I don't have any money, so I can't send her anything, you know. I was just grateful to be able to talk to my daughter, you know. She is 15 now. I mean, it's kind of hard to believe that my only little girl is now a 15-year-old girl, lady. And I told her about, like in Latino culture, they celebrate, you know, the coming of age of a mature young girl and welcoming her into her womanhood by calling it a quinceañera. And I told her, you know, that I was proud of her and I was happy for her and everything. I do have some regrets about how I was so like insistent about my being a transgender female and stuff. And there's certain things that I wish that I could take back, you know, in how I, you know, wanted to be seen and wanted to present myself. And I think that's one of the biggest things about this whole journey, you know, that trans people are on, is that we want to be seen, or, you know, I wanted to be seen because I don't identify as trans anymore. We want to be seen as the gender that we clearly want to represent, you know. And it's like, it doesn't matter what our kids think. It doesn't matter what our ex-spouses think. I mean, we're like so in their face, you know. And that's really something that I've come to think that I could have done differently. You know, my kids, you know, I had the opportunity to see them in November of last year. And I was so caught up in wanting them to see the Lynna me that I didn't want them to see their dad. And the sad part is that they missed out, and that I missed out, you know, on being able to give them the joy of them being able to see their father. And that's one of the things that we get so caught up in, you know, is that this sense of self becomes more important than anyone else around us. And it consumes us, and it makes us think that, you know, everybody else has to listen to me, or else, you know, my way or the highway. And, you know, think about it now. I'm thinking about it now, and I think, gosh, if there was anything I could do to make my kids feel more comfortable with me, I would do it now. You know, now it's been almost a year since I've seen 3 of my kids, and my what is it? He's 11 now. He's gonna get involved in football, and his mom just got him some cleats. He's gonna go play football. Something that, you know, is cool. You know, I mean, it's cool that he's going out for another sport. You know, so I'm excited for him and his opportunity. He just got those new cleats, so he's going to be sweating it out there on the football field. I never played football, really. I went out for football practice maybe a few times back in high school, but it never stuck. I was a baseball guy. That was my sport. I enjoyed playing baseball, throwing a ball. And, it really is a product. We are a product of our upbringing. You know, my dad used to throw the ball with me. used to take me to baseball games, so that's kind of how I gravitated. Um, but, it's just one of those things where we are so much a part of what and how we are raised socially. You know, I was raised to live with lots of guilt because of my religious upbringing. The things that I was told I couldn't do it was a long list of things that you can't do. Drinking was wrong. You know, smoking was wrong. I mean, not that these things are healthy for you now, but I wouldn't equate them with a sin moniker on them. I would just equate them with being certain things that people do. Going to the movies was wrong. Stuff that a lot of people don't deal with. I mean, I remember listening to Christian music, and because it was rock and roll, it was wrong. So living with that guilt and then being, transgender and stuff and dealing with, the realities of not feeling comfortable in one's skin and blah, 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 how all that goes and all the narrative goes. It's one of those things where it's very difficult. But in this last 6 months, I've understood that there's a lot more to life than just, abiding by the code and feeling like if you don't, then, you're doing something wrong or that you're making a huge mistake or whatever. Life is what it is. And there's certain things that, aren't really so bad. Being gender expressive is one thing that I think can go a long way in, allowing children to express themselves, to be able to talk about their gender, to talk about what they like and what they don't like, letting a little Jimmy play with a doll or a little Jenny play with Hot Wheels or whatever, it is what it is. So, these are things that we as parents and as adults can allow our children to be fluid in their expression of gender. And as you get older, I wish the church would lighten up on the whole gender stereotyping thing, because it causes people to want to go into boxes. So it causes more gender dysphoria, if you might, if you may, because, people feel like, oh gosh, if I'm not this way, then I must be that. Or if I'm not that, then I must be this. And in reality, all they needed was an opportunity to be able to express themselves as they choose to. But, the church and religion so often, it really discourages it. Guys are discouraged from being able to, be feminine at all, and little girls are told that they need to, be soft and expressive and everything. And, different people are different, personalities, the traits that we have innately. There are so many variables in this, in this life. And we must understand that these things are to be allowed to be given room to breathe, because if we don't, then we squash life itself. And kids are stunted and not able to feel comfortable to be themselves. And I know that for me, that was the case. I struggled with my gender, and so much so that I decided at 41 to leave my familiar surroundings and to become something that I could really never be, literally. We can feminize ourselves as much as we choose to, but the reality of biology is what it is, But I choose to express myself in this manner. I choose to live in this way. In the future, whatever it might hold for Mark and I, it will, dance with it as it comes. But for now, this is where we're at, and this is where we choose to live. And just wanted to let you guys know that I'm very happy. No one's twisting my arm. No one has kidnapped me. No one is keeping me hostage. I am happy and so in love with this person who God gave me that in my moment of need, He came and rescued me and took care of me and has provided for me and is everything for me. So this is my life, and this is who I will marry. I'll marry Mark in 6 weeks, and we will be a married couple. And a lot of people in the church goes, you got to make it right in the eyes of God. But then there's some of my friends are like, you got to hold off. You don't want to do that because then you just don't know what life might have in store for you and stuff. And it's like, look, after 6 months, I think we know. And under the circumstances that we've been under the pressure that we've been in, I think that we are more than capable of deciding what we should do for our futures and stuff. And I'm happy. I'm happy to be with him or her, however you want to call, Mark, Maritza. I'm just, I'm just happy. So I just want to know that I can move forward and not be so concerned and consumed with my past. And not that I'm wanting to abandon my past, because my past is my past, but the things that I can't do anything about, I can't do anything about it. So I'm learning. I'm learning to be patient with the changes that have happened. I'm learning to be patient with, the fact that I am not the same person that I was even 6 months ago. And I'm not talking about how I look or anything gender-wise. I'm just talking about my heart, how I am as a person, what I believe, how I think, how I, understand life to be. I'm different, so I just am grateful. So I guess this is me signing off. Anyway, see you guys.